There we go. First video on the RX class, doing a kind of racing skill simulator video in a new track, which is a car track. Starting off in the RallyeCross Polo. You see, it's not that easy once you start it, and you really need to learn how to drive those cars. So there's a special technique to do it well, and I found out in the past weeks in beta the best way to do it is on a very tight circuit like this one, doing a few laps, warming up the tires and get a feel for what the car or how the car needs to be driven. So we got changing weather as well. So it's kind of overcast right now. I got a handbrake selected as well. I'm using an old joystick for it. You can assign it as an axis. Get a pit limiter off. And that's a good display of how to not to do it. And you can see you can do times like 42s, even 41.9 I guess was my best so far with warm tires. And well, you don't need the handbrake at all. You can all do it by weight transfer on the brake. You can throw the rear around by lifting on the throttle. You can choose the handbrake to make the effect even more feelable. Actually, if you got cold tires, it's quite different. So first laps need to be done really carefully. I'm using quite high gear ratio at the moment. We've done some different racing in this car yesterday evening. Some Brands Hatch, you can drive those RallyeCross cars. But you really have to extend your gear ratio to make it on a normal track. I think second gear is fine in this one. And smooth inputs are necessary. We got like 500-600 horsepower on 4 wheels. The way it acts is quite different from any other car you have driven. And sometimes it's best to just let go of the gas. No, don't brake. Keep the tendency of the car to rotate. Too much on the dirt. If you're trying in VR, it can be a bit strange at first, because there's so many direction changes in short succession. But getting it right is so satisfying. I'm telling you, and you feel it from the first minute you're in the car. It is special. You can feel the suspension going up and down under braking and acceleration quite heavily. And you can use it as an indication of what the car is doing, how the weight transfer is working. Oh, a bit too much on the handbrake here. A bit too fast in this one. Huge drift. Want to point the nose to the inside, like to the apex. While letting the car do its rotation. Once you trust it, it works for you. Too much. That's one Brazilian car track. It has so many variations. You can find them in the game right now. I never used it before, so I'm not really sure if it's a completely new track. To me it was, because I'm not the car driver. But I found this very useful on this new RallyeCross. On this new RallyeCross class you can drive right now. Because what you learn in such a narrow track is to pinpoint the car to every corner and get a feel for speed and suspension, which makes it really precise on larger tracks where you have more room to work with. overextended it. Ah, that's gone. Yep. Bam. Well, I like it. So 42.68 at the moment. Just have a look at the chat here. In Discord you can't see right now. Let's experiment a bit with all the spring settings. I bumped it up just a few newtons per millimeter. Take a bit more tighter feel to prevent lowering and raising the nose in the rear too much. You can go to really extreme values like 46. Let's try this and see how it feels. 46 front and rear. Spring. Could be a bit more reactive, a bit less mechanical grip, but a less washy feeling. Feels quite nice around first corners. As you would expect, more direct feeling. Oh, that bite. After the weight of the car just settled onto the wheels. Quite intense. I think a bit harder suspension is more my thing. Just a slight tap on the gas to extend the drift range. Just improved by a bit over the softer settings before. I feel on tarmac the hard setup has some good performance. Oh, that's a bit tight. Ah, that's so good. And I waited 6 years after first trying out AMS1 in the Evo Lancer RS, which had that exactly that feeling you get right now with the huge suspension travel and the believable four-wheel drive, which AMS2 never had. It had the Lancer from the beginning, but it was nowhere near the AMS1 counterpart. It never felt right. But this one now is just got sent. Oh, there it goes. Let's have a look. Look at all the scars I took from hitting the side walls on the left side. So the damage model, you can see it. It's so precise, also losing the front, having different marks on the left side compared to the right one. Really good. Also, those obstacles feel really heavy. Before they were like foam or something, so no real obstacles. Right now they have weight in it, and hitting them really makes you feel what you hit. They may not feel like tires, the yellow ones, more like concrete bricks or something like that. Really a lot of weight. You definitely feel it in the wheel. No handbrake. Only some weight transfer. Letting it go around by its own. Ah, too bad. Didn't catch the apex here. So the hard setup on this car, on this track, feels good, feels better than the soft one. We can try the very soft one next to feel the difference and what it makes in lap time. man, that's good. I love it. We do this for hours, just perfecting driving for just a single car on a single track. And there's so much to discover in 1.5. There were changes to 172 different physics of all the different cars and setups you can drive in AMS2. That's insane. Over 170 unique builds, all handcrafted and adjusted, tested for multiple weeks by all the community, supporting the devs in nailing it. And you can feel it, whatever car you drive. There's still some fine-tuning touches necessary for different classes, especially for wet tires. You can feel some, still feel some strange behavior on changing track conditions, like going from dry to wet on slick tires. There's one case I reported yesterday where we did a DTM Group 8 race on slick, changing from the dry to wet conditions, and the tires performed as expected. Then the second race we did the M1 Pro car, same changes, dry to wet, and it was completely gone. Tires lost like 95% of grip, and you had to go really slow, so it's not what you expect. So things like that still need to be reported, as it's impossible to test everything in just a few weeks, which comes up. And of course there are also some challenges in developing a working four-wheel drive system, as it's properly simulated inside the cars with all the axes rotating inside and so on. It's not just numbers. It's a complex internal simulation, which is insane if you compare this to simulations 10 years ago. Oh, nice improvement. The lap felt quick, and it was. We're still near hard spring setup. Coming from the base setup, changing the springs and the gear ratio. As you can see here, that's the longest final drive you can get. You don't need to shift as much. And first gear is suitable enough to get the power down in even the slowest corners. And the third is max on the short straight on this track. So this fits. If you change it to shorter, like this is the shortest setup, Let's try. I think you have to shift to fourth on the straight. Even here, and then you have to shift down immediately, which is not what I want, because it's extra load on your on what you're doing in the car. Too tight entry. Oh dear. Also what I found, it's really hard to turn over the car by rolling it to the side or onto the roof. It's like not wanting that to do. Sometimes it shows some tendency, but it's really hard to roll it over. You have to shift all the gears up to the fourth. Yeah, which is some overhead I don't want. So putting it back to the longest final drive, just fine. I don't touch the differential so far, front and rear, you can see. Boost pressure is 100, which is... oh, it's adjustable now. That's cool. And now let's try spring rates of 26, which is the lowest setting you can get. And that suspension is the first thing you notice when you enter the car for the first time. It feels so natural, especially now on the softer springs. It's like an like an old Citroën. It's the X3. It's less snappy now, it also extends a bit more. It also grips a bit more aggressively, like what you would expect from a very soft setup, and it drives very differently. It's really worth to check out those different spring settings. As it changes the feel of the car quite dramatically. And your personal preference might be, yeah, you see that's completely different on this turn-in. But it's weaving more on the rear. The rear comes out way more. See if we can get it right. So again, let's see the softest spring setup I'm using right now to see how it simulates the difference. Here the rear comes around more easily and more like it has more inertia in it. Hard to describe. But it's what you expect from a very soft setup. If it's too soft, it's too washy. Car needs more time to get out of the compression state into back to neutral state. Oh, look at that, even a faster lap now. Oh, where do we go? Yeah, so we made a faster lap on the soft setup. But it felt so different. I might still prefer the harder one. We have to define your setting in between. Also make sure brake bias is on a level you can drive without a handbrake. It's possible to drive it without it and make use of the normal brake bias you have in the car. Turn it around nicely and securely. So let's put it to 30 on the spring rates, which is slightly softer than basic. You instantly feel you can be more aggressive on those turn-ins. The rear doesn't come around it easily anymore. But it still has the nice effect over curbs, which takes a lot of the forces. The exit felt gorgeous. Even fast, so nice. So we're getting there. Missed it. Was in the wrong corner mentally. I like it. Look at that. 42.16. So compared to the first laps we did, the difference of night and day. Was it 42.16? That's the wrong name. Yeah. Change it here. And this is Copa Sao Paulo. Stage 2. That's the name of the track. It's in the kart group if you want to drive the track on your own. So I'm not sure if it's a DLC. It might be. The car you get in the adrenaline pack if you don't have the season pass or you're part of the paddock club, which gives you everything. Next I'll try Barcelona RallyeCross track. Using the same car, maybe take another one next time. So using the same setup. You got 3 groups right now. You could go to create off-road, which gets you to all the RallyeCross and dirt tracks. So give it a different name. Let's go. And you can see time trial leaderboard is active now. You can do your timing, which was not possible in beta, of course. So that's good to see. We might have a try on the current world record, which is below 40. I doubt we can do this in this session, but let's get a feel for the track. The very soft setup. I might prefer the harder one as well to, yeah. That's quite hard to control. Let's do it on the 30. Let's try 39, which is pretty high, but not too much. Yeah, way better. That's a big swing. That's a 43, it's not too far from the record. take much speed through that one. The driftability of this car is gorgeous. You can control it pretty well. Not if you want to jump it long. That's a bit overdone. Also, if you do harder springs, it should be more controllable. This phase is where the rear comes around pretty hefty. Okay, let's try. Let's do the very hard spring setup. 36. Front and rear. Where there's less bouncing after landing. It feels more comfortable. Also, braking performance in this one should be better. So good. Well, that's a 40.0. The 39 is close. I like it. Well, this concludes my little driving school video for RallyeCross here on the Polo. Also tried all the other RallyeCross cars. There are 3 more. Currently we got 4 very nice modeled cars. My personal favorite is the VW Polo at the moment. I think the Lancer is second because of its historic meaning to me in AMS1. And also the Lancer RS under, is it the street car? Don't know the class, but the usual Lancer RS, which was in the game for a very long time, but it was unusable. It never felt right. It now feels really like a car. You can drive it like a car, literally. It's a huge difference. Give it a shot and let me know how it goes for you. Maybe you can participate in time trial. Set your time as well. Let's fill up the leaderboards. Besides the many usual suspects, let's have a look here on off-road Catalonia. You can even do it on all the other cars. Look at that. It's not limited to RallyeCross. So here we go. You see the Polo doing 39.5, which is a pretty nice time. So I might have a look into that. Great time. So I have to find half a second. There also might be different weather settings on this one compared to my online server I just drove. You can also see, look at that, controller guy doing it. Nismo. Really nice. 40.179. Few more controller guys here. There are 32 entrants so far. Nice. Yeah. Fill up those leaderboards. Let's try to get into the top 10, which is currently led by Joppy, whatever your name is. Sounds a bit like Netherlands. From what I hear of you guys, pretty good feedback so far. That's what we are looking for. So that's it for me now. Have a good time in AMS2 and have a nice evening. Bye bye.